Is it okay to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? Because today, America is not just filled with people mourning the death of a father and husband. It's also filled with people celebrating the death of a controversial political figure.
Of all the things I predicted this year, which isn't much because I'm not fucking Nostradamus, Charlie Kirk being assassinated definitely wasn't on that list. I'm going to be honest, I was deeply shocked by this information, fundamentally shook to my core and not in a positive way.
Here's what I'm going to say about the Charlie Kirk death. Charlie Kirk built the propaganda machine that ultimately killed him. No one should ever die from gun violence.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun rights.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren
and I'm Maureen.
Right, so in today's episode we're going to be reacting to white Americans and how they took the news of Charlie Kirk's death, right?
Right, can you imagine if only black Americans were the ones who were spotted not caring about what happened to Charlie Kirk, and how right now people would have been saying how this was such a racially motivated death and how they'd have been blasting black Americans. But apparently even white Americans were spotted on the internet celebrating and talking bad about Charlie Kirk's death, and this has sent shockwaves, let's just say, to even people here in Africa, because we thought that
If anything, a lot of white people would be sympathetic, but apparently, I have to say this as a statement, I think that the Second Amendment right should be reviewed, but that's just my opinion, right? But guys, let us know, what do you think? The Second Amendment right should be reviewed, and gun violence right now, I feel like it's becoming a huge problem because there's a lot of senseless deaths that are happening, and like it just needs to be reviewed, you know?
Right, because someone was saying right now, if an American gets angry, the first thing they are likely to do is reach out for their pew pew.
Right, but guys, let us know what you think about this episode. First, let's watch what we've compiled for you, and then we come back and talk about it. You can consider subscribing if it's your first time here, right?
And also consider subscribing. Right, let's watch and then you come back.
Is it okay to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? Because today, America is not just filled with people mourning the death of a father and husband. It's also filled with people celebrating the death of a controversial political figure. I mean, it didn't take long. This man was seen on camera smiling and pumping his fists just moments after the shot rang out. And according to witnesses, he wasn't the only one.
The liberals who were there were cheering and someone just got killed. Disgusting.
And a lot of the comments backed him up. Like, am I crazy? He was a bad, dangerous person. An advocate for gun violence was a victim of gun violence. Oh no. I do think his kids will be better without his influence in their upbringing. And I only share this because that comment got nearly 20,000 likes in the matter of hours. But the problem is, many people argue that celebrating a kid like this only encourages more.
If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American.
Maybe it's because I come from a place with consequences, but I ain't shocked by the Charlie Kirk shit at all. Where I'm from, right or wrong, if you do things that negatively impact other people's lives, there's a chance that could cost you your life. Like, say you put hands on your old lady. She goes back to her parents' house, beaten and bloody, and then her little brother sees it, decides he's had enough. He goes over to that house and he puts 3 in your chest. Ultimately, he's dead because the little brother decided to pull the trigger, but we're gonna act like the hillbilly didn't have no part to play in that? Or maybe it's because I'm on the side that has historically had all of the consequences heaped upon them. Like, we're the ones who always get assassinated. Harry T. Moore, Medgar Evers, Huey Long, Harvey Milk, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton, the list goes on. None of them wanted to die. And to be sure, they died because someone came and pulled the trigger. They didn't make that decision. But we're gonna act like that decision wasn't visited upon them because they decided to challenge the status quo, because they decided to negatively impact the ruling class? Now I've got a situation where I have an individual who has spent the last decade trying to strip the humanity away from everybody that he deemed lesser, out here impacting the lives of thousands, if not millions of people negatively, and I'm supposed to pretend like there are going to be no consequences. Again, whenever you do the type of things that impact, you don't know how you're impacting people's lives. You have no idea what your words or how they will affect somebody. we recognize this as leftists. I understand there's going to be people who don't like the shit that I have to say. It's cops right now who would love to put me in a bag. I get that. I go do it anyway because I believe that what I'm talking is worth dying for. I hope that Charlie Kirk feels the same, because whenever you get out here and you do the type of things that impact people negatively, you need to expect that those people you negatively impact are going to come visit consequences upon you. For right or wrong, it doesn't matter. In my world, that's the reality, and you should expect that it's going to come whether it does or not. I expect my retribution to come for the ruling class. Charlie Kirk is going to have to look out for it from every minority group that he's ever demonized. Moral of the story is, if you're going to be out here trying to impact people's lives negatively, you better believe in what the fuck it is you're fighting for. As always, bro, I appreciate y'all taking the time. Much love.
Here's what I'm going to say about the Charlie Kirk death. Charlie Kirk built the propaganda machine that ultimately killed him. No one should ever die from gun violence. As Americans, we are perpetually in the seat of the audience watching these gun violence moments play out. Some of us over a TV screen, some of us horrifically in person, as the actual audience members did today in Utah. People are lacking empathy around the specific instance is because Charlie Kirk actually perpetuated and even created and empowered the very situation that ultimately led to his death. We don't need to take away guns. We just need more significant gun laws. We need more protections in place. We need more healthcare, mental health, advocacy, and social programs. And Trump and Charlie Kirk have walked in and stripped the country of these social programs that help minimize gun violence. States that have expanded Medicaid have reduced gun violence. And we see it all over the world in developed countries, and we see it here in our own country with Medicaid expansion resulting in reduced gun violence. Trump has come in and reduced these programs, and people like Charlie Kirk have been advocating for him. Gun violence should not occur. The left does not want gun violence to keep occurring. Irony here, and why people are lacking empathy, is that Charlie Kirk has created and perpetuated the very thing that led to this situation. This is a little something I wrote. I'm just going to read it to you directly. Charlie Kirk and his ilk committed indirect acts of violence every single day. It was a bloodless accosting of vulnerable people day in and day out that strategically reduced them to mere collateral damage and chattel. If you condone Charlie Kirk, you condoned violence, unchecked gun distribution, and the subjugation of women. You created the very world and society that empowered an act of gun violence to occur against him. That's how I feel about it.
Of all the things I predicted this year, which isn't much because I'm not fucking Nostradamus, Charlie Kirk being assassinated definitely wasn't on that list. I'm going to be honest, I was deeply shocked by this information, fundamentally shook to my core, and not in a positive way, because I can be very anti someone or believe they're evil or be fundamentally ethically against everything they stand for, but I cannot support something that comes from something else I'm fundamentally against. Cannot be for gun reform and gun control while simultaneously supporting the consequence of that not happening, even in these circumstances. And I know what he said just before it happened as well. And I also blame the systemic failures that led Charlie Kirk to have the ideology that he had more than Charlie Kirk himself. I can't be troubled about a lack of empathy in this day and age for the very real things I speak about and then not have any empathy towards this situation. I also know what Charlie Kirk's stance was on empathy and it being woke too. However, of course, there is going to be a lot of social commentary and discourse about this event. I'm finding it interesting. We're already seeing a pattern of people trying to police other people's reactions to it, and I'm not trying to police them policing either. I'm just saying I understand that there will be a lot of people who will also have not just a lack of empathy, but will celebrate his death. Because he wasn't just polarizing, he believed that certain people just didn't deserve to exist.
Is it just me that thinks the assassination of Charlie Kirk is being taken to a way other level than when the Democratic politician was assassinated in the States? Like, she was killed. I don't think the president of the U.S. even acknowledged it. And nobody even really seemed to talk about it. And yet this assassination, it's like, wow, people have to pay. There's going to be a change. The radical left is responsible. Meanwhile, they don't even have a suspect apprehended. So how do they know what the motive is? And with the politician that was killed a few months ago alongside her husband and her dog in front of their daughter, it was politically motivated. They know why the guy shot them. It's because of their politics. But here we are.
longer with us. And he hasn't been for hours now. It's been confirmed. And I don't really know what I'm supposed to come on here and say. But the internet does. TikTok definitely does. As I don't have to scroll any farther to find a plethora of videos of people posting that they're rejoicing that Charlie Kirk was shot to the Broadway musical sound, Nobody Mourns the Wicked. In that song, there are lyrics that say, the wicked's lives are lonely and they will die alone and no one will miss them when they're gone. Do you know who will miss him? His 6-year-old daughter. Do you know who else I think will probably miss Charlie Kirk? Her younger brother. Do you know who I think is probably going to miss him most of all? His wife, who just an hour before he was shot posted a Bible verse. Psalms 46:1. God is our refuge and our strength, and we will find peace in him in times of trouble.
I'm going to say this. Democrats own what happened today. I am devastated. My kids have called panicking. All the kids of every conservative in the country called panicking. Just because you speak your mind on an issue doesn't mean you get shot.
Then by that logic, do Republicans own the shooting of the 2 Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota? Isn't this on both sides?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm asking.
We don't know what condition Charlie Kirk is in right now. Some raging leftist lunatic put a bullet through his neck, and you want to talk about Republicans right now? No.
No, I'm asking
no, not at all.
You said the Democrats
Democrats own this.
But isn't there a problem with political violence across the spectrum?
Yeah, we're talking about Charlie Kirk right now. That's the subject of this that we're talking about right now. Democrats own this.
And so I used to follow her when she would discuss a lot of the UFOs and UAPs and things like that. But yeah, that guy really caught her off guard when it came down to that question about, holding specific political parties responsible for these tragic events. She ended up bringing up, that this person is probably a sick liberal, a Democratic person. And as soon as that guy ended up bringing up the fact that that Republican person ended up killing those Democratic lawmakers, accountability went out the window completely for her. She said, no, it's not a Republican thing. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this. And I get it. We're talking about this now because this is now. What happened to those people? Yeah, that's old news now. Who cares about them, right? Who cares about them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments over this way because, accountability. Accountability.
As somebody who is on the left and has voted Democrat my whole adult life, I just wanted to tell you guys I am praying for Charlie Kirk. I do not condone what happened to him. I am not celebrating what happened to him. I think it is tragic. I think it is disgusting. He is somebody's father. He is somebody's son. I don't have to agree with him to respect his right to live. I don't have to agree with him to protect his right to free speech. I'm praying for him. That's terrible. And the person who did that does not represent me. Love y'all. Keep your head on a swivel.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. Yeah, I don't know at what point exactly it became normal for citizens to carry around arms and for citizens to have, in a legal way of course, or illegal, but more so in a legal way, walk around with guns. This is a concept that a lot of Africans don't understand, and there are other places in the world where if you go, the only people you find having arms are either the police, just law enforcement in general, and maybe just
a few elites, like rich people.
Exactly.
Even here in Africa, people don't own guns like
Exactly.
It's a normal day.
Right, and a few criminals, yeah. But to find a mass of people having license to carry, even children, you see like how school shootings happen and such like things, yeah. It's because I feel like the access to, you know, pew-pews is very, very easy in America. So you get to a point where you're asking yourself, is this doing more good to our society, or is it doing more harm to the society, you know? And I feel like because of this question and because of people's beliefs, this is why I feel like we're at a crossroad right now.
And
when it comes
why
to
America is so divided when it comes to
the
this
the tragedy that has just happened, because the man we're talking about didn't exactly feel like people needed to be, the Second Amendment right needed to be taken care of. He felt like people had
the right to, you know, protect themselves using a pew-pew.
And if a few other people had to, you know, be unalived for that to happen, he was supporting that. The ironical part of it is that is what ended his life, you know. So I don't know what you have to say about this, because I feel like right now a lot of random things are happening, and whoever did this design a society where like even very basic and normal civilians could have a license to carry. I feel like as human beings, some things are not even supposed to be encouraged to enter society, because the moment they do that,
they do more harm than good, also it appears. Because like in Africa, we hardly ever hear incidences where random shootings happen all the time, except from regions that have been marked as terrorist organization regions.
And that doesn't happen often, you know. So anyway, I don't know what you have to say about this, guys, but let us know your thoughts and opinion on the comment section. At the end of the day, I really do feel for his wife and child, because like imagine being used to a unit where you have your partner there, the father of your children, you know, and for the children, they have both parents there, and then from that dynamic to a complete shift where you have to learn to live without this person, it's gonna be very, very difficult. And guys, I feel like there's a lot going on right now in America. Number one being that they're trying to dehumanize people or desensitize people towards such things. But I can say, much as people don't support what happened, I mean, his belief system, they shouldn't also support what happened to him. Don't mourn him, but don't support it or celebrate it on the internet either, because the minute you do that, then this becomes normal, you know.
Right, and I do feel like right now in the world in general, people are kind of losing their humanity, and there is a greater play to this. However we got to this stage, it might have been through the programs are being shown on TV. It might have been through the propaganda pushed on social media, but we should all think, why is this happening right now? And if we can switch back our humanity.
Right, it's very, very important for us to be able to sympathize with others, because they normally say
sympathizing breeds caring, and when you care about basic human life, it will be hard for you to just stand by and support when people are doing gruesome or crazy things to other people. And that is why we have situations that are happening in the Middle East, situations that are happening in Congo, and situations that are happening in Sudan, because people have been dehumanized and desensitized towards what human suffering is, and to what human loss is.
Yeah, but guys, I don't know what kind of experiment was going on here today. I heard that people were saying, I don't know how true this is, but you let us know in the comment section. Some people were assuming that or alleging that whatever happened to Charlie happened because they wanted that news to go viral, and they were trying to hide something else.
Some very famous files that you guys know about.
Yeah, okay, they were trying to just cover Charlie's news with some other news that they didn't want people to talk about. So that was kind of like acting like a distraction. But guys, what do you think? Do you think that might have been a possibility? If that is the case, you know, I feel like if all of us like tap into our humanity, you start caring enough, we wouldn't have people like Charlie who are talking the way they did, you know. Because at the end of the day, if someone took the mirror and showed him, this is what would happen when you pass away, and this is how your family would view you on social media when other people are posting you, I don't think he would be speaking the way he did, you know. It's just a matter of putting yourself into somebody else's shoe and try to reflect upon, what if this was happening to me? What if it was somebody I cared about, you know? And as they say, said, the words you mention greatly affect or influence other people. So when you're there talking about how if you're 10-year-old this, or how if women this, or how if black people this, just sit down and think about the person you're radicalizing, because there are people who really respect and admire you to the point where if you speak, they're gonna be taking your words with that much seriousness, you know.
So guys, let us know what you think about this episode. Also consider subscribing if you're new to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.